Ever wonder what it's like to step right into history? Today we're diving into the top 12 games where real events shape the story. From revolutions to war zones, let's explore the games that bring true stories to life in unforgettable ways. So buckle up. We're about to travel through time and across the globe, from the heart of revolutions to the mysterious deaths on the Dyatlov Pass. Starting off with 1979 Revolution Black Friday, taking us right into the heart of the Iranian Revolution. Now picture this, you're a photojournalist and it's 1979. You're not just snapping pictures, you're capturing history. The game throws you into the chaos and courage of the 1979 uprising. You're documenting history as it unfolds, dodging bullets and trying not to get trampled by the wave of revolutionaries flooding the streets. It's like living inside a documentary, but with way more adrenaline and less popcorn. As I navigate through the crowd, my camera's my shield and weapon. Every click feels like a heartbeat in this storm of rebellion. I spot a protester standing defiantly on a car, fist raised high. Snap, a picture really is worth 1,000 revolutionary moments, right? There's something almost absurd about trying to frame the perfect shot while tear gas swirls around you and people chant for freedom. But hey, someone's gotta do it. And if that someone gets an award-winning photo in the process, even better. Let's get from one life-changing conflict to another. Coming in at number 11, Valiant Hearts, The Great War, set during World War I. Inspired by real letters, this emotional journey follows soldiers and civilians caught in the horrors of trench warfare. Imagine trudging through mud-filled trenches with the weight of a world at war pressing down on your shoulders. You're not just fighting battles, you're navigating the heartbreak and hope of those who lived through it. I'm in the middle of a battlefield, explosions echoing around me like some twisted symphony, and there's Walt, the dog, trotting beside me. Walt's not just a companion, he's a hero with fur. He saves lives, finds hidden paths, and somehow manages to be adorable even when dodging artillery fire. "Walt, fetch!" I shout over the din. He dashes off, disappearing into the smoke. Moments later, he returns with a medical kit in his mouth, tail wagging like we're on a leisurely stroll instead of knee-deep in chaos. If there's one thing that keeps me grounded in this mess, it's that goofy dog. The letters I find along the way add layers to this harrowing journey. They speak of love, loss, and the longing for home. Each one feels like a whispered secret from the past, reminding me that every soldier has a story worth telling. From the trenches of Europe to the American Revolution. At number 10, we have Assassin's Creed 3, where you can witness key moments of the American Revolution. I'm not just some random guy, I'm Connor, an assassin with a mission. The game drops me right into the thick of it. From the Boston Tea Party to Bunker Hill, I'm rubbing shoulders with George Washington himself. I find myself in a secret meeting with him, planning strategies that could change the course of history. Washington's got that serious look, the kind you'd expect from a future president. "Connor," he says, "we need your help to turn the tide of this war." I nod, feeling the weight of his words. But let's be honest, nothing says freedom like jumping off a roof into a pile of hay with style. So there I am, scaling buildings like a squirrel on caffeine, looking for that perfect leap. Leaping off the roof, I freefall for a moment before hitting that haystack with all the grace of an eagle diving for its prey. The exhilaration is real, my heart's pounding like a drum at a colonial rally. And then there's the Boston Tea Party, tossing crates of tea into the harbor while dressed as a Mohawk warrior. Priceless! The British soldiers look confused and furious all at once, like someone just told them they'd run out of scones at tea time. "Take that!" I shout, hurling another crate overboard. Now let's march onward to one of WW2's most intense days. Coming in at number 9 is Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, putting you right into the action of the D-Day Normandy invasion. Picture this, I'm crammed into a landing craft with a bunch of other nervous soldiers, the roar of the engine drowning out our whispered prayers. The ramp drops and chaos erupts. Bullets whiz past me, water splashes in my face, and I sprint toward the beach like my life depends on it, because it does. The sand feels like quicksand under my boots, every step a struggle against the tide of war. I dive behind a makeshift barricade, heart pounding. Around me, soldiers shout orders, and explosions light up the sky. It's one of history's most pivotal battles, and here I am, smack in the middle of it. The level of immersion is intense. It makes me appreciate every moment of bravery these soldiers showed. "Cover me," someone yells. I nod, gripping my rifle tighter. Peeking over the barricade, I spot enemy fire raining down from a fortified bunker. My squad and I make a mad dash for cover closer to the enemy line, adrenaline fueling our every move. Just as things get hair-raisingly intense, there's always that one guy who trips over his own feet while trying to toss a grenade. "Oops," he mutters as it rolls harmlessly away. Brace yourself, I think, because this game turns intensity up to 11. Next, we head to a different kind of battle, for survival. At number 8, this war of mine brings you into the brutal realities of the Siege of Sarajevo. Unlike most war games, this one's a gut punch. Here, I'm not a soldier, I'm just trying to survive the day-to-day horrors. Imagine this, I'm holed up in a dilapidated house with a few other survivors. Our mission? Simply to stay alive. Forget power-ups. In this game, we're just scrounging for food and shelter. I rummage through rubble, my stomach growling like an angry bear. There's no heroic music, no fanfare, just the eerie silence of a city torn apart by war. Every creak of the floorboard sends my heart racing. "Found something!" someone shouts from another room. I rush over hoping for canned food or medicine. Instead, it's an old family photo, half buried in debris. The image is haunting, a reminder of better days now gone. "Better than nothing," I mutter, slipping it into my pocket. It's a small comfort in a world gone mad. Night falls, and we take turns keeping a watch. Sleep is a luxury we can't afford. I stare out into the darkness, ears straining for any sign of danger. A rat scurries past, and I nearly jump out of my skin. This isn't exactly what I signed up for, I joke weakly to myself. But humor's scarce when every day is a struggle for survival. The smallest things, a stale piece of bread or a working radio, feel like treasures in this bleak existence. Let's shift from survival horror to true detective work in post-war LA. Number 7 brings us LAA Noire, inspired by real-life crimes in the 1940s. I step into the polished shoes of Detective Cole Phelps, navigating the gritty streets of Los Angeles. The city's a labyrinth of shadows and secrets, and I'm the guy who's got to untangle them. Solving high-profile cases is no walk in the park. One minute, I'm examining a blood-stained dress in a back alley. The next, I'm grilling a suspect in a smoke-filled interrogation room. "Tell me where you were last night," I demand, leaning forward. The suspect shifts nervously, his eyes darting around like a trapped animal. "I was at home," he stammers, sweat beading on his forehead. I raise an eyebrow. His story's shakier than a Hollywood marriage. "Your face says otherwise," I counter, and he practically wilts under my gaze. You'll need more than just street smarts. Those facial expressions aren't going to analyze themselves. Each twitch and blink could be the difference between solving the case or letting a murderer walk free. One time, I'm interrogating this slick businessman with a grin that could sell ice to an Eskimo. He's denying everything, but his eyes? They're doing the cha-cha all over the room. "Sure you were home all night?" I press, trying to keep a straight face while his nose practically grows like Pinocchio's with every word he utters. And just when I think I've seen it all, brutal murders, twisted scandals, I uncover corruption so deep it makes me question everything.
I can't put one on him from here.
From crime solving in LA to revolutionary Paris. At number 6, Assassin's Creed Unity immerses you in the French Revolution. I'm Arnaud Dorian, a rogue assassin navigating the tumultuous streets of Paris. The city's a powder keg, and I'm right in the thick of it. One of the most iconic moments? The storming of the Bastille. I'm scaling the fortress walls, every stone a step closer to revolution. Around me, chaos reigns. Citizens clashing with guards, shouts echoing off the ancient stones. I spot King Louis XVI himself from a distance, looking like a deer caught in headlights. He's got that regal air about him, but there's fear in his eyes. It's not every day you see royalty up close, especially when they're about to lose their heads, literally. Speaking of heads, just remember, the guillotine's a one-way trip, so keep your head about you. Trust me, I've had some close calls dodging those blade-happy revolutionaries. One minute, I'm parkering across rooftops. The next, I'm ducking under a guillotine blade that swings down like it's got a vendetta against my neck. Whoa, that was too close, as I shout, laughing nervously as I roll away. But there's no time to dwell on near misses. The revolution waits for no one, and with each mission, I uncover more layers of intrigue and betrayal within Paris's blood-soaked streets. Next, we're diving into one of World War's bloodiest battles. Number 5 is Verdun, based on the historic Battle of Verdun during World War I. Imagine this, I'm knee-deep in mud, the air thick with smoke and the stench of battle, trench warfare at its grittiest. Every step feels like a Herculean effort as my boots sink into the mire, each pull a struggle against the earth itself. I glance around, taking in the realistic locations and weapons. The trenches stretch out like a grim labyrinth, walls caked with grime and desperation. Shells explode overhead, shaking the ground beneath my feet. It's like Mother Nature's having a tantrum, and we're all just trying not to get caught in her wrath. Watch out! Someone yells as a grenade lands nearby. I dive for cover, mud splattering my face. There's no glamour here, just raw survival. My rifle feels heavy in my hands, every shot fired echoing with history's weight. And if you like mud, this one's for you. It's as realistic as it gets. Seriously, I've got so much muck on me that I'm considering starting a new skincare trend, trench mud facials. My character's face looks like he's been wrestling pigs for fun. The constant barrage of artillery makes conversation almost impossible, but we manage with gestures and shouts. Over there! I point toward an enemy position. My buddy nods, crawling through the muck like a determined snail. The realism is intense. Each muddy step feels like I'm dragging history along with me. Now let's leave the battlefield for the eerie silence of the Ural Mountains. At number 4, Kholat explores the mysterious Dyatlov Pass incident in the Ural Mountains. I step into the game, the wind howling around me like a chorus of ghosts. Snow crunches underfoot as I follow the chilling footsteps of a real-life tragedy where 9 hikers met an unexplained fate. My flashlight barely pierces the darkness, casting eerie shadows on the twisted trees. Why do I always pick the creepy ones? I mutter, shivering. My breath fogs up in front of me, and I pull my coat tighter. Whoever said video games don't make you feel cold clearly hasn't played this one. Each step deeper into the forest feels like walking into a ghost story. The atmosphere's thick with tension, every rustle in the trees setting my nerves on edge. And let's be honest, I'm not exactly built for survival horror. Bring a flashlight, and maybe a warm coat, you'll need both. I find myself stumbling upon remnants of the hikers' camp, a torn tent flapping in the wind, scattered gear frozen in time. The sight sends a shiver down my spine that has nothing to do with the cold. Great, I think, just what I needed, an interactive horror story. From mysteries in the snow to a different kind of haunting reality. At number 3, the town of Light sheds light on life inside an Italian psychiatric hospital. As I step into the game, the walls of the hospital loom over me like silent sentinels. The place feels abandoned yet disturbingly alive. It's based on real stories, and I can almost hear the echoes of the past whispering through the crumbling hallways. My footsteps sound loud in the eerie silence. I explore the dimly lit corridors, each room a time capsule of suffering and neglect. The patient records I find tell tales of people forgotten by society, their struggles reduced to scribbles and dusty ledgers. There's something profoundly unsettling about it all. The scariest part, this isn't your typical horror game. Everything is disturbingly real. No jump scares or monsters here, just the raw reality of psychiatric treatment history. I find myself shivering not from fear, but from the weight of what these walls have witnessed. In one room, I come across an old wheelchair, its wheels rusted and frozen in place. I can almost picture someone sitting there, staring blankly out the window, lost to their own mind. Well, I think to myself, if I wasn't already creeped out, this does the trick. And as if on cue, a door creaks open somewhere down the hall. Just my luck, haunted by nothing more than old hinges and my overactive imagination. Moving now from mental hospitals to the gritty streets of Victorian London. At number 2, Assassin's Creed Syndicate lets me dive into the bustling streets of Victorian London during the 1868 industrial conflicts. The city's a maze of narrow alleys and towering factories, each corner brimming with life and danger. I take on the role of Jacob and Evie Fry, twin assassins with a knack for toppling corruption. Navigating these cobblestone streets feels like stepping back in time. I've got soot in my hair and smog in my lungs, but it's all part of the charm, right? The fog hangs thick, making every shadow a potential threat. Evie, keep your eyes open, I mutter, glancing around. The real treat? Meeting historical figures like Charles Dickens and Alexander Graham Bell. One moment I'm in a secret meeting with Dickens, who's more eccentric than I imagined. "Mr. Fry," he says, "the city needs your help to uncover these dark tales." I nod, trying not to get lost in his whirlwind of words. Next thing I know, Belle's handing me gadgets that make me feel like a steampunk James Bond. Try not to break this one, Belle quips as he hands over yet another contraption. Scaling Big Ben or zipping across rooftops never gets old. And those cobblestone streets, they might look quaint, but after hours of parkour, my ankles beg to differ. Oh great, I mutter after tripping for the umpteenth time. Another love letter from Victorian infrastructure. But nothing beats the thrill of taking down corrupt industrialists while mingling with the era's greatest minds. And now our top pick takes us to an iconic train with an international twist. Taking the top spot is the Last Express, and let me tell you, this train ride's wilder than my last family reunion. I'm aboard the Orient Express in 1914, just days before the world erupts into chaos. The train's polished wood panels and plush seats scream luxury, but there's tension crackling through the air like static. I slip into the role of Robert Cath, an American doctor with more secrets than a confessional booth. Every passenger I meet could be a friend, foe, or my next murder victim. I mean, suspect. The train cars become my chessboard, each move carefully calculated as I navigate through political intrigue and personal vendettas. In the dining car, I eavesdrop on conversations in multiple languages, picking up snippets of plots and counterplots. A mysterious woman catches my eye across her champagne glass, and I can't tell if she wants to kiss me or kill me. Probably both. Murder, mystery, and a luxurious train? All aboard. I chuckle to myself, straightening my tie in a passing window's reflection. And there you have it, 12 games that blend history with epic storytelling. I've found that these games make history more thrilling than textbooks ever could, dropping you into pivotal moments where your choices matter. From Verdun's trenches to Victorian London's streets, each one reveals history's human side, not just dates and facts, but stories of courage that shaped our world. If you like this, hit like and suggest more historical games below. Your ideas help shape our content. Subscribe for more time-traveling adventures ahead. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep gaming and keep exploring history.